They came out of the south late that morning on a black and silver Ski-Doo LT. The driver had thick eyebrows and a thicker beard and a lush fur ruff around his hood, all rimmed with frost from the moisture of his breath. He was a big man, made larger by parka, down bib overalls, fur mukluks and thick fur gauntlets. His teeth were bared in a grin that was half snarl. He looked like John Wayne ready to run the claim jumpers off his gold mine on that old white mountain just a little southeast of Nome, if John Wayne had been outfitted by Eddie Bohr.
The man sitting behind him and clinging desperately to his seat was half his size and had no ruff around the edge of his hood. His face was a fragile layer of frost over skin drained a pasty white. He wore a down snowsuit at least 3 sizes too big for him, the bottoms of the legs coming down over his wingtip shoes. He wasn't smiling at all. He looked like Sam McGee from Tennessee before he was stuffed into the furnace of the Alice May.
The rending, tearing noise of the snow machine's engine echoed across the landscape and affronted the Arctic peace of that December day. It startled a moose stripping the bark from a stand of spindly birches. It sent a beaver back into her den in a swift-running stream. It woke a bald eagle roosting in the top of a spruce, causing him to glare down on the 2 men with malevolent eyes. The sky was of that crystal clarity that comes only to lands of the far north in winter, light, translucent, wanting cloud and color. Only the first blush of sunrise outlined the jagged peaks of mountains to the east, though it was well past 9 in the morning. The snow was layered in graceful white curves beneath the alder and spruce and cottonwood, all the trees except for the spruce bare and leafless, though even the green spines of the spruce seemed faded to black this morning.
"I gotta take a leak," the man in back yelled in the driver's ear.
"You don't want to step off into the snow anywhere near here," the driver roared over the noise of the machine.
"Why not?" the passenger yelled back. A thin shard of ice cracked and slid from his cheek.
"It's deeper than it looks, probably over your head. You could founder here and never come up for air. Just hang on, it's not far now."
The machine lurched and skidded around a clump of trees, and the passenger held on and muttered to himself through clenched teeth. The big man's grin broadened.
Without warning they burst into a clearing. The big man reduced speed so abruptly that his passenger was thrown forward. When he hauled himself upright again and looked around, his first impression of the winter scene laid out before him was that it was just too immaculate, too orderly, too perfect to exist in a world of flawed, disorderly and imperfect men.